What's up, guys? We're live. Get your coffee, get your guilty pleasures, because there are so many guilty pleasures to talk about today. I just want to do a look at my face. I look very confused. I look like a very confused guy. Very funny. Let's see. Here we are. I'm just going to wait till we populate. I'm going to start our Instagram live stream. I like that confused look on my face. I actually edit that into my show a lot. Hey guys, what's up? What's up, Instagrammers? Let's Instagram in an actual video. Let's talk. Let's talk guilty pleasures, guys. Hey guys, tell our followers that we're here. I got my coffee. I just want to go on a little rant about the coronavirus. I hope you guys are home. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are being very cleanly. What's up, Herbother Jam? Herbother Jam? Herbrother Jam. Your brother Jam. Got it. Takes me a minute, but I can get it. I can put those, I could sound out my words. I could figure them out. Thank you for joining us. I'm waving to you. Hope you have a coffee. Hope you have a guilty pleasure that you want to talk about. There are so many guilty pleasures in movies, in music. Your brother I am. Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't even get it right. I even tried. I tried to get it right, but I couldn't. Here, let's get some more light happening back there. Let me just reach back here. Yeah, that looks better. Much better. It doesn't look like I'm in a dark cave anymore. It's raining here in LA. Funny thing about rain in LA is that it rains a lot for a couple weeks, and then it's sunny all the time. Hello, brother. Cheers. And then it's sunny all the time, and then everybody's like, I just really love it when it rains, because it rains like twice a year. Of course you love it when it rains, because it's a change of gears. We've switched it up a little bit, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to talk about guilty pleasures. What is your guilty pleasure? Is it a movie? Is it a band? Are you into Nickelback? Because if you are, then we'll have to postpone this show. We'll have to cancel this show. What's up, drumming guy? Just wanted to talk about. I think it's funny that there are people in this world who think that the end of the world is coming all of the time. They're the people that are like, listen, Y2K is coming. You gotta set your computer. Make sure that you don't break your computer, because then your computer's gonna destroy the Earth, and we're not gonna. It's not gonna know everything. The stock market's gonna crash. It's gonna be the end of the world, and then Y2K comes and goes. And then there's a new end of the world. There's the rapture. We're all going to be raptured up into heaven. There was also a movie with Nicolas Cage about the rapture. And then they think that everybody's just going to like lose their shirt and go up into heaven. And then that date comes and goes. And then 2012 comes around and they're like, 2012? It's going to be the end of the world. The Mayans had a calendar that the last date on their calendar before it started again, like our calendar, like December 31st, the next day is January 1st. They were like, well, it must be the end of the world because, the Mayans, they had technology. That comes and goes, nothing happens. But then you get a pandemic where the World Health Organization, the National Institute of within 6 feet, 2 meters of any other human being for 2 weeks, and we can be out of this situation. And those same people who are like, the world's going to end in 2012 are the same people who are like, I think I'm going to go out. I think I'm going to go and hang out. I'm going to socially distance with all my friends at a party. That's not how it works, guys. And I think it's absurd. But it's true that facts only align with people. People only like facts when they align with their agenda. So I hope your agenda today is to talk about movies that you like and nobody else likes. I got a guilty pleasure. And I also want to clarify existential crisis blown to a mass scale. I agree, Will. Thank you for joining me. Pretty much, Will is a champion. Will is Will Champion. Will Champion happens to be the drummer for Coldplay. I hope you don't take that as an insult, Will. He's not the drummer for Coldplay, but he's Will, and he is a champion. He joins us every day here on Aristotle Full Throttle, and we get into it. We talk about it. We break it down. We talk about movies. We take them apart. We put them back together. See if we're missing any parts. That's from a movie called Doc Hollywood, starring Michael J. Fox. I bet Will's gonna be like, "Oh, that's a deep cut right there." There's some guilty pleasures out there, but I want to actually make a statement here, and this might be controversial. And let me know if you agree with this. Is there a guilty pleasure? Do you feel bad about feeling good? That doesn't make any sense to me. If there's something you like, just like it unabashedly and enjoy it. And don't be mad that you like something. Don't be upset that you like something. Don't be afraid that someone's going to find out that your favorite movie is The Naked Gun 2.5. Or Weekend at Bernie's 2. Weekend at Bernie's 2, man. Weekend at Bernie's is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know if it's a good movie or not, but I enjoy the heck out of it. How about, what's the one with the big giant alien bugs? What's the one? Will knows this one. With the space troopers, super troopers from space, I think it's called. You never watched Doc Hollywood. It was too adult for me at the time, I guess. Yeah, it was rated PG-13, and you were probably like rated 11 at that time. Let's see. Yeah, I remember Doc Hollywood being rated PG-13 for some reason. There's a lot of stuff in my brain, and I'm just gonna like spout it out. What's up, Jimmy James Cordova? Thank you for joining us here at Aristotle Full Throttle. We're talking about guilty pleasures. What's your guilty pleasure? Yeah, guilty pleasures make life worth living. Ghosts of Mars. Starship Troopers. Spaceship Troopers from the Stars is the one. That's a fun movie. I like, as a guilty pleasure director, Paul Verhoeven. He's kind of got movies that are just really, really good and also really, really bad. Like Showgirls is a really bad movie. It's really bad. But it's also kind of classic. It's a classic. What else? I don't like any of those Dan Brown books, guys. The Tom Hanks movies where he plays the guy who's like with the Da Vinci Code and all that. I don't like it. You don't hate any of the Star Warses. What about Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones? What about that? I'm not going to make you feel bad for liking it, but I want to know why you do. That's the thing about guilty pleasures is like you like a thing and you should be okay with liking it, and you should be like, this is why I like that thing. And people should just go, okay, it's a matter of taste then. And clearly there's no accounting for it. I have to say that I can't hate a Star Wars movie, but I don't find anything redeeming about Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. I find it very bothersome. I find it vexing. Starship Troopers is a good one. Resident Evil and Underworld sequels. The Underworld sequels, yep, I know about those. Let's see. I'm just Googling here to see what other people think about guilty pleasure. I love The Princess Diaries 2. I like it. Sue me. I mean, it's a good movie. I like that. I like Anne Hathaway in pretty much anything. Guilty pleasure. Even though I can acknowledge that she's a bit much. I remember when she won her Oscar. She held it like a baby and was like, "Thank you." I was like, all right, you don't have to do it now. You don't have to do the drama now. You did the drama in the movie. Now just say thanks. But She's pretty good. She's a pretty good actor. She's a bit much. Let's see. Star Wars prequels. You have to want to like the Star Wars prequels. See, Will says, Jimmy, that you have to want to like the Star Wars prequels. So you gotta kind of like, I mean, I guess that's fair though, but you know what? Maybe you just get joy from watching it. Maybe you get joy from Anakin Skywalker saying, I don't like sand. I get joy out of it, but it's probably not for the right reasons. I spilled my coffee. That's okay. Nothing matters anymore. Beetlejuice. Oh man, Beetlejuice is classic. I love Beetlejuice. I hope they make a sequel to that. I mean, actually, I don't. You know what? I don't like that they make a sequel to everything. Sometimes it's cool to just have a movie be like once. What was that sound? Oh, someone's vacuuming. I'm glad they picked the time to vacuum while I do the live stream, but I should coordinate this better. Let's see. I want to read what Jimmy has to say. I like it because, this is Star Wars Episode 2. I like it because it doesn't just focus on the Skywalker. It shows what and how the clones were being apart from the Republic before the Empire, and explains more than what we knew. That's true. It does that. But there's also a love story in that. I'm not here to debate the merits of Star Wars Episode 2, but I could tell you my feeling about that love story in Episode 2, where they're just like, I love you so much, and I love you so much. And it's like, that's pretty much the love story. There's nothing really compelling them to be together. They're like, I just love you and just feel the love inside for you. And there's really no, there's nothing to it. There's no like chemistry, as it were. But I don't know. I think Hayden Christensen is a good actor. He just wasn't necessarily given, he couldn't do justice because of the fact that sorry, my arm, because George Lucas is not necessarily a good actor's director, which I learned recently, that you can be an actor's director, you can be like kind of a technical director and be like, this is what I want to see, this is what I want it to look like, this is who I want to be in it. But, the look, the feel, and then when the actors show up, they're kind of like, okay, so what is the reason that these things are happening? Necessarily, if the actor needs some help, they need some direction. Sometimes the director needs to be like, listen, you don't like this guy because he killed your brother and that made you really sad. Now action. But instead, George Lucas says, faster, more intense. Faster, more intense. That should be the name of my show. He's actually an awful actor and had a terribly written character. Anakin is far richer in books and graphic novels. I would say that Hayden Christensen was underrepresented. He's fine. He's just as good as any like kind of actor of what he's going for. It's just, think about it this way. Those actors, and Ewan McGregor did a pretty good job doing this. Maybe he's just better at this type of acting. Those actors had to be just surrounded by green and then don't know what it looks like yet. And so the actors had to kind of like make up and figure out, do their job as actors, but it can be challenging if you don't have something to interact with. If you don't have a thing to actually pick up, if you don't actually have a thing that you're talking to react off of, it can get really, really, you can get in kind of the weeds about what's going on, like what is even going on. And there's even some things about the Star Wars movies where George Lucas would morph different takes from one take to another because he liked the beginning of one take and then didn't like the ending. And another director like that is David Fincher. David Fincher likes to take 50 takes and then kind of slice together everybody's reactions. Did you ever see that movie, I don't know. The Notebook is pretty good. You guys like The Notebook? I like The Notebook. Who cares? I like The Notebook. I'm going to go shout it from the rooftop. But then I'm going to run away really quickly so nobody knew it was me. I feel you on the love part, but I think that the point, they just want to show Luke and Leia parents. I know, that's the thing. Here, I can go on to a whole thing about the prequels and how it's such a missed opportunity to actually continue the mystery. Because if you watch them in chronological order, sequential order, I guess. So episodes 1, 2, and 3, episode 4, and then when you get to episode 5, when you get the big Darth Vader reveal to Luke, you're not surprised by it anymore. Because we've learned that 2 movies ago. So I think they could have kept that a secret by involving some kind of mysterious love triangle, never knowing that Padme got pregnant, knowing that they had a relationship, but never knowing she had a kid. So she should not have been with child in the 3rd movie. We should never have known that. Because by the time you get to episode 5, we have to go, oh, this is a total and utter shock to everybody watching these movies. But when you get to episode 5 now, right before the end of the movie, you just go, oh, yeah, I knew that. Yeah. Even though it's like the greatest reveal in movie history. It is the greatest reveal in movie history. No, that's impossible. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen The Empire Strikes Back. What's up, Kenny Kane? Waving back at you. I could also virtually wave at you like that. We can use all kinds of waving technology these days. It's pretty cool. Also, Michael Keaton is always... He's the best Batman. Michael Keaton is pretty much the best Batman because he changed our idea of what Batman could be. Because all we had before that as a live-action Batman was Adam West and then maybe some other guy in like the 40s. But Adam West was hilarious. He was a really, really funny guy. Dead now, but funny nonetheless. What hurt the prequels was the Ventress and the other triggers weren't into them. Plus, we needed to process more of Anakin's trauma. Yeah, Anakin was just like, I hate you. Because Sith like to hate. I hate you. I hate you. I killed them all. All right. You know what it should have been? It should have been double cross. Anakin should have felt double crossed by Obi-Wan. Look, we're going to get into it. Anakin should have felt like he was double crossed by Obi-Wan. Because Anakin should have felt jealousy that perhaps Padme and Obi-Wan, maybe or maybe not, also had an attraction to one another or something, or some kind of jealousy involved in their kinship. So they were best friends, master and apprentice and Padawan. But then Obi-Wan could have been like getting the attention of the Senate or getting the attention of the Emperor or something, or getting the attention of Padme to take the focus off of Anakin and then driving his rage, fueling his rage. Adam West was great for TV. Robin, go over there and make me a cup of coffee. Adam West is the greatest. He's the mayor. He is the mayor forever. I liked that he just wore that suit and did not care about wearing that suit. Let me just get back to my therapist here. Hold on. Okay, great. Just moving some appointments around. I hope you all have therapists, because we're going to need them right now. We're going to need those folks. And they're going to need us, to be honest, because people are out of work. And if you're out of work, I hope you can find some kind of alternate way of making ends meet, of making things come together, because it's a tough time. This is my way of doing that. So I'm going to be doing this pretty much every weekday, And I hope you guys you can join me every weekday, and we can commiserate, we can talk it, we can get into it about the Star Wars movies like we are right now. And thank you for. I've been working on my Adam West impression since I was a child because I used to love Batman. I would watch Batman the same bat day, same bat time, same bat channel every day, 5 days a week. I was into it. Pow, bam. I should see. Here's a guilty pleasure. I actually like Batman and Robin. I enjoy that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Batman and Robin, with George Clooney as Batman. Not the best Batman. He's not Michael Keaton, but he is George Clooney as Batman. But the thing I like about that movie, and I enjoyed about that movie, is that it just didn't take itself seriously at all. And they were trying to keep some kind of through line of a story and characters because Alfred and Commissioner Gordon were the same actors throughout all of those movies. But the fact that it went from like kind of I don't know, Tim Burton's Batman was kind of zany. It was a zany movie, and it's incredible because it's got all the gadgets, it's got all the gags, so many fun Rube Goldberg types of imagery in that movie. But Batman and Robin is kind of silly and fun, and I think it's notable. Hey there, sunshine. Thank you for joining us. I'm waving to you with modern waving technology called my hand. I could also do this. We're just talking about movies and guilty pleasures, and I'm out of focus here. I also think there are no such things as guilty pleasures. I think if you like something, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and like it, and tell us why you like it. And then maybe someone else who thinks, oh, that's stupid, that's dumb, they can learn to appreciate your angle. Your angle, I said. Let's see. It was also a retcon Lucas came up with, which also... Twincest. Yeah, it's weird. That's true. Like, if you watch the Star Wars movies in order, you already know that they're brother and sister. And Luke and Leia, she gives him a kiss for luck in Star Wars, and she gives him a kiss on the mouth in Empire Strikes Back for jealousy wars, for interpersonal wars, because she just wants to make Han Solo jealous. And hey, they didn't know they were bros. So, yes, it would be an Othello level Shakespearean type of love triangle, which would have been so relatable and adaptable to the Star Wars universe. And I don't know why he just didn't go with that. He went with a boring, dry Senate and a boring, dry love story where the people are just like, I love you. Would you watch a movie? I mean, I guess I'm not gonna keep ragging on episode 2 because I know that's your guilty pleasure and you like it. But if just in the abstract you thought of a movie that was like, I wrote a movie and it's a love story, and then the lead characters just went like this to each other. I love you. I love you. No, I love you. I love you. For 2 hours? I don't know. It's not very compelling, but I did like the cloning. The cloning was cool, and there are giant bugs in that movie too. So what am I talking about? I like Starship Troopers. That's got giant bugs in it. Let's see. If you guys file for the credit on your tax return, so you may not have to owe as much. Let me know what you guys are doing, what you guys are watching, what you guys are thinking about. Yeah, Starship Troopers is pretty great. It's pretty great, though it's divisive. Some people don't like it. I love it. I like when they're like, he's scared, and everybody's like, yay. It's just so absurd, and I think that Paul Verhoeven, how old is Paul Verhoeven? He must be 90 years old right now. Let's look him up. He's got to be 90 years old. Let's take some guesses here. How old is Paul Verhoeven? I'm off by 9 years. He's 99. No, he's 81. He should be making more movies then. Paul Verhoeven, what are you doing? Get out of your house and make some more movies. I want to watch them. I want to watch your future movies, Paul Verhoeven. I know him as Paul Verhoeven. You might know him as director of Total Recall, RoboCop, Showgirls, and Basic Instinct. A lot of classics in there for good and bad reasons. I feel like the people who do like it grew up watching it. That's true. I also like the Robert A. Heinlein book. There's actually a book, Starship Troopers. It's a science fiction, and it's a bit more detailed than the movie. The movie does kind of miss the mark as far as what the book is going for, but the movie is still entertaining as all get out. Starship. Yeah, there is a Yes song. Do you guys like Yes? Is that a guilty pleasure? Do you know the song Owner of a Lonely Heart? Much better than a Owner of a Broken Heart, if you ask Steve Howe. So guilty pleasures, guys. Let's have them. I was just talking earlier about how people think that the end of the world is always going to come. They're like, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world, 2012, bro. World's going to end. 2012 comes and goes. Oh. So nothing happened. But now there's a pandemic, and all of science is like, guys, just stay in. Don't do anything. Don't go out. 2 weeks, you're good. If the whole world could kind of not touch each other for 2 weeks, it would be great. But people are like, oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe this. I don't believe this because it's not sensational in the sense that it wasn't invented by the Mayans 2,000 years ago. This was invented in December. The coronavirus, a novel coronavirus that you want to avoid at all costs, if you can. And science doesn't care about your feelings. Viruses don't care that if you're sneaking out. So some people are like, well, I'm just going to like sneak out to the store. I'm just going to sneak out and have a little party with my friends. And it's like the virus is like, awesome. I'm on board because I'm a virus and I don't care about you sneaking around. It's not about the rules that people are making. It's about the reasons the rules are put in place and why you should follow them. It's really not, just doesn't care about how you feel. I should also let you guys know that both of my parents have coronavirus. They have COVID-19, actually. And my mom is doing pretty well. My father is not doing so well. So if that's enough to compel you guys to stay the frick home, I hope it does. Because it's not great. It's basically, hopefully if they get through to Monday and they're okay, they'll be past the worst of it. But my father's, I don't know, he's kind of feeling pretty miserable. And I'm trying to help him avoid getting pneumonia. And if you guys know anybody who's got coronavirus or don't know anybody, you will soon. It's that's how pandemics work. Any guilty pleasures? Movies, movies that are on film. Music. Do you guys like musicals? I kind of hate musicals. I love Little Shop of Horrors though. Is that a guilty pleasure? They're remaking that. I don't know why. Why would they remake a movie that is so perfect and it's a period piece? It takes place. Does it take place in the 60s or the 80s? I know the movie was in the 80s, but I don't know if it took place in the 60s or the 80s. But I'm going to watch that movie today. I will watch Little Shop of Horrors today because you can watch that movie anytime. Audrey 2. I'm just going to Google something. This will be fun. This will be fun to use. Why can't I hate musicals? Chicago. I never saw Chicago, though it did win Best Picture in like 2001. I've never seen it. I know that it has actors in it and also songs, but that is the extent of my knowledge on it. I don't really know. Doesn't it have like someone who dresses up like and puts like lace in front of their face and then they dance around? What do you think about singing and dancing? Do you like to go to the musical theater, or do you like to see? I think, and this is my own prejudice, my own discrimination, I enjoy musicals that are movies. I can't really go to the musical theater because what happens is I want to vomit in my mouth and then vomit in my mouth again and then out my nose. So I can't really stomach the feeling of being in a musical theater when someone just jumps into song and dance. But in a movie, for some reason, I can suspend my disbelief that, sure, in this world, people can spontaneously go, like music will start and people will start singing. But I have a problem. It's my problem. It's like an anti-guilty pleasure. It's like an aversion. It is an aversion to musical theater. I can't really find a soundboard for this. What happens if I press play on this? Let's hear it. I'm going to get demonetized. Speaking of demonetized, you guys can support my channel through Patreon, Aristotle Full Throttle. If you go to Patreon, you can support it. Help for the price of a cup of coffee. You can support a grown man in Los Angeles. I'm not starving or anything, but I mean, it's up to you if you want to do that. Let's see. Lace on your face dancing around is most musical. Yeah, I mean, that's what I picture whenever I think of a musical. I just think of someone holding a top hat or a straw hat and going like this and then kicking. Lots of kicking with legs and jazz hands. So many jazz hands. The Disney movies are different stories that cannot remember. Yeah, Disney movies tend to be pretty good. My one gripe about the Disney movies is come close, but not too close. Hope you're wearing your mask. This is my mask. Disney, they're geniuses. They're so brilliant. What they did is they took stories that are public domain. Public domain is a copyright situation where 75 years after the death of the author of any work, you can use that work and it will be considered public domain. Anybody could make a movie, an adaptation of any of the Brothers Grimm stories because they've been dead for a while. So that's why people make TV series and movies. And then Disney's like, let's put some major talent into this free property that we don't have to pay anybody for and then just keep making money off of it. We don't have to come up with a new story or new characters, but we have to come up with some decent songs from hit songwriters. But these are stories that are they're tales as old as time, to quote a Disney movie. Let's see. 50s and 60s for Little Shop. Music-wise, the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song is catchy as all get out. I will agree with that. SpongeBob SquarePants movie is fantastical. I enjoy that movie too. It's got David Hasselhoff, who I once saw. Easter's coming up this Sunday, and I once saw David Hasselhoff one time. I went to the House of Blues for Easter. 2 times I went to the House of Blues for Easter. One of those times I saw David Hasselhoff there, and I did not hassle the Hoff, though. I took a picture and tweeted it out, but I was just like, I will not hassle the Hoff, but I wanted to so bad to hassle the Hoff. The Disney movie was different. What's up, WO88? We were just talking about guilty pleasures. Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure, but if people like musicals, you're guilty of having pleasure, and I don't like it. I don't enjoy your pleasure from deriving pleasure from that. But Will says he's not a theater person at all. I'm actually a theater person. I like a good drama. I can watch people act out a thing and even have some elements of stagecraft in which certain things don't make any sense in the real world, but people kind of enter from one scene into the next, and it's sort of a living dream, as it were. But the musical aspect just gives me the pukes. The level of projections vocally and physically come across from the stage. Yeah, I don't know. I try to culture myself. I try to go to see the musicals, and I've seen several at the Pantages Theater here in Los Angeles. There'll be a lot of touring groups. I saw as like the sequel to Peter Pan. I saw what else did I see? Actually, I liked it. I liked the Book of Mormon. I enjoyed that. I was laughing so hard because it's just so ridiculously inappropriate and just. If you haven't seen Book of Mormon, you are probably under 18. Or, I don't know, you just haven't seen it. So I can't find any of these. Here, let's find a little wacky soundboard. What other guilty pleasures do you guys have? I love Lady Gaga. I've been to 2 concerts. I don't feel guilty about it. She's actually really good. Love Island and other reality shows and guilty pleasures. Yeah, those are very popular. People love The Bachelor and Love Island. Funny thing about those shows is they go, here's some alcohol, and here's a bunch of strangers, and we're going to have cameras on you, and we're going to see what happens. And we're going to make sure that we cast people who are not very stable, because we need ratings, and we like train wrecks. And for some reason, we are compelled to watch that kind of stuff. I refuse to watch Tiger King. There's nothing you could do that'll make me watch it. I do not like the exploitation of animals. I will not support it. I know it's about people who exploit animals, but I cannot even take the exploitation of animals. So I can't do it. I can't do it. Let's see. Let's have some little sound. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just scared the hell out of myself. Thank you. Now it's like you guys are here. Awesome. Stop it. No, thank you. This is the worst soundboard. I'm sorry, guys. Tiger King. You haven't seen Tiger King. Everybody's talking about Tiger King. I will not talk about Tiger King. It's I'll talk about The Lion King. Hey guys, guess what I just watched? And it took me several times to watch it. I had to sit down 4 separate occasions to finish this movie. But I watched Aladdin, the live action version, directed by what's his name? He just directed another movie that's out. Anybody know who directed? I just learned this too, and yeah, I was gonna say Guy Pearce, but it's Guy Ritchie. That's like 4 first names: Guy Pearce, Ritchie. They're all first names. Pierce. Oh man, that is an aggressive name. If you name someone Pierce, watch out. I like that name though. Pierce Brosnan. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't want to watch Tiger King because everyone else is watching it also. I feel like Tiger King is a strange phenomenon. I don't think as many people would have watched it had there not been a lockdown or a shelter-in-place policy, because people they're kind of weirdly infatuated with the fact that people are like, are you watching Tiger King? I guess. Should I watch it? Sure. And then people are watching it and they're, I'm 3 episodes in and I don't like this. Should I continue watching this? And then people are like, I guess I got to finish it. And it's just one of those begrudging types of watches. So I'm not even going to start it because I like tigers, but I do not like Tiger Kings. Let me tell you something about Aladdin. Aladdin was good, partially. Aladdin was partially good. This is the live action Aladdin. I like the old Aladdin. This Aladdin, I did enjoy Will Smith. There's something about Will Smith that that for instance Suicide Squad suffered from not featuring Will Smith as just like kind of the guy that we should always just follow in the movie, I guess. There are certain, or I would say that Independence Day 2 suffered from a lack of a Will Smith. I don't, you can't, if you think about the power that Will Smith brings to the screen, you can't underestimate that guy. I watched Aladdin. It takes 40 minutes for Will Smith to show up. So you got to like really dig in. But once he shows up, you're just like, this guy's just likable. He's likable and he's fun and you just listen. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, guys. He's got charisma. That kid's got charisma and he's going to go places. However, the story is good. I think that Guy Ritchie is also another not an actor's director. I think he's I think the actors he hires are really doing a lot of the work themselves as far as whether or not the movie is going to be good, whether or not the movie itself is going to be. I think a perfect storm comes along every now and then that makes his movies pretty good. If you put Robert Downey Jr. in a movie, the movie always gets better. So I always say that about Robert Downey Jr. You can't go wrong hiring that guy. If you put him in a movie like the Sherlock Holmes movies directed by Guy Ritchie, if you put him in those movies or any of the Marvel movies, as soon as Robert Downey Jr. walks onto the screen, the movie goes from here to here every time. He's got that quality. Will Smith has that quality. It's called charisma, kid. Meryl Streep has that quality. As soon as she starts, you're just like, okay, what's she going to do next? Tilda Swinton makes everything better. Here, I got a wacky soundboard for you.
Wonky, goofy.
I don't like it. Guys, I'm trying to up the production quality of my show here. John Cena. These are terrible. What is that? If I push this button, does anything happen? Nope. Will, do you have any other guilty pleasures? Yes. Tilda Swinton in Constantine is good. She's a good Gabriel, yeah. She's just really good. If you watch everything that she's in, she takes an angle, even in her small one scene that's kind of cut up into two different scenes, where she plays the aged one, or I forget her Celtic origins. Or sorry, I was playing the sound of a drill. She, even in her one scene in Endgame, she just knocks it out of the park. She has like 10 lines and is incredible in that. Dead Don't Die. I want to see that. I know that's a Jim Jarmusch movie, and that came out last year. I just watched the preview for that, and I was like, she is my absolute hero. Everything she does, I'm completely glued to. It took me, I was watching Trainwreck, the Amy Schumer movie, and it took me probably half the movie to realize that Tilda Swinton was the actor playing Amy Schumer's boss. I couldn't make the connection, even though Tilda Swinton is, I think, probably my favorite among all of the humans. She might be the best one. She'll be the person we send when the aliens come down and they're like, take us to a representative of your human race. We'll go, send Tilda. And then she'll probably wow them and be having tea with them within a few minutes. That Tilda Swinton, she's always Swinton. Tilda Swinton. That's her cousin. Her eyes don't work too good. I think, yeah, she's pretty much. Did you guys ever see the Sentinel? No. Childhood's End. Childhood's End. It's a book written by Arthur C. Clarke. It's a science fiction book, sorta, but it plays on religion. And it's actually really cool TV series that they made from that a few years ago. David Copperfield, she redeems herself. Do you mean David Copperfield, the musician? I mean the magician? The magician? He's a magical musician. Or David Copperfield, the book by, I guess, who's Charles Dickens? Let me see. Or David Copperfield, the porn star. Because there's an illusionist. Yeah, there's a Dickens novel, David Copperfield. The movie. I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen that. I'll put that on my list. I know that when I first really started to notice how amazing she is was in the movie Michael Clayton. I don't know if you've seen the movie Michael Clayton. I like to pronounce the T very hard T in Michael Clayton. She was so good in that. She plays kind of a sociopathic corporate ladder climber who has to get rid of some people in order to fulfill her agenda along the way. And she's just so good in that part because you just like, she's cold and calculating until it all comes crumbling down on her. It's a very good movie. She's fantastic in that. But, you know, she's one of those people that I'm glad that she's in the Marvel movies. People kind of crap on the Marvel movies and the superhero movies. Guilty pleasure of mine. I love the Marvel movies. I love them because they are epic tales. They're very stark, so to speak. The characters are very stark. And they're all A-list actors. Those movies wouldn't work if they weren't selling their scenario. When Thor is in Infinity War and he's talking to a raccoon whilst in space, saying how he's 3,000 years old and has killed twice as many enemies, and his brother is the god of mischief who was murdered, and his father is Odin, you actually feel for the guy. And the only reason you do is because Chris Hemsworth has become a fantastic actor. He used to suck, but now he's pretty good. So he is doing a monologue to a raccoon, and the reason it works is because these actors have lived with these characters, and they are experiencing what they are saying. They are truly experiencing having lived 3,000 years and killing all those enemies. And so Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth and Zoe Saldana and all these people are really good actors. So when they're telling you these stories, they believe it's real, and it won't work unless they believe it's real. And that's why I feel like Captain Marvel fell a little bit short, because Brie Larson, I don't think that she took... See, I was saying how I like that Tilda Swinton gets to play this role because she's an A-list actor. She's top quality. She's top notch. And all these A-list really good actors, really highly skilled and charismatic actors get to play these roles because they get paid a lot of money, frankly. But they can also do their artistic roles, but then get paid a lot of money for being really talented and being hired by the big corporation to do a job, just like bands do. Bands will play your corporate party if you pay them enough. Lady Gaga will play your corporate event if you give her $3 million. So these actors use their services and their skills to ensure multiple generations following them, I suppose, with money. And I think the key is that they take the role seriously. And I feel like Brie Larson played Captain Marvel as a superhero instead of a person. And I feel like that was maybe why it fell short for me a little bit. I think she was like, wow, I was amazing in Room and won an Oscar in Room. So I'm the shit. I'm pretty awesome. She is. She's an incredible actor. However, I didn't think her acting was that good in Captain Marvel. I think she approached it as like, I'm Captain Marvel. I am a superhero. And I think the trick is you have to approach the role as, hey, I'm a real person and these are the circumstances. Iron Man's a real person. Captain America is a real person and his circumstances are bizarre, but you have to believe it. You have to believe it's real for the audience to believe it's real. You have to experience that scenario for the audience to experience that scenario. And that's all there is to it. Acting 101. I'll give that lesson for free. Go ahead and take that put that in your coffee and smoke it. Samuel L. Jackson's always pretty good. Brie Larson. She's better than she was in Captain Marvel. Sorry. That's an anti-guilty pleasure. Let's see. Will. I think Will has left. What's up? Well Gone Weird. Do you have any guilty pleasures that you'd like to share with us today? We've got about 8 minutes left in today's cast. I'm doing this every day at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. So if you're all over the globe, I guess just make sure that, you check your Pacific Standard Time watch and come and hang out. I'm enjoying it. Get to have a coffee with you guys. We get to hang out, talk about things we like, things we don't like. We can try to forget what's going on in the world for but a brief moment, if we will. It's pretty tough. Everybody's experiencing high anxiety and stress, and we're getting tired out from it. I don't know about your days, but my days are pretty long feeling, but also they're over in a blink of an eye. So I don't know how that works. It's very paradoxical, but that's how it feels. And I'm pretty tired at the end of the day, though I only sleep about 5 hours a night. So that's according to my Fitbit. 5 hours max. Get up. It's 5 a.m. Time to get up and worry about stuff. So I don't know if you guys are feeling that way, but that's been pretty much life for the past month. Where are you guys in the world? I'm in beautiful Los Angeles. It's raining, which is beautiful. Holy crap! Jimmy James Cordova, congratulations. You're going to be a dad. Do you know who the mother is? Rockport, Texas. Congratulations, buddy. That's a big deal. You're going to have to buy formula. You're going to have to buy baby diapers. You're a dad. You're a dad now. Congratulations. When are you going to be a dad? Christmas? That's awesome, man. Do you have names picked out? And are you going to, at what age will you start introducing them to Star Wars? That's the most important question. You're on it, Jimmy James. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. I think that's a big step. First time dad. Well, cheers to you. December, you're going to have a Christmas baby. That's awesome. And by Christmas, God willing, Thor willing, Odin willing, frogs willing, this will have been mitigated. We will be in a better situation, and we'll all be able to see our loved ones and our friends again and hang out in person and maybe even high-five each other. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. It's really fun hanging out with you guys and getting into it. Let's see, Shazam. Did you guys see Shazam? I kind of liked Shazam. It wasn't that great, but I kind of liked it. Because Shazam, the only thing I didn't like about Shazam is I liked the guy who played the kid Shazam, and I liked the guy who played the adult Shazam, or Shazam as the superhero. Because, as you know, this isn't much of a spoiler, but the kid turns into an adult-sized man superhero, and that's his superpower. But he's supposed to be the same character, but I felt like he was a little bit different. I felt the kid was a good actor, but he was a little bit more conservative. And the adult version of Shazam was kind of a zany, he was playing a kid. And I think their performances didn't align. Which reminds me of Forrest Gump's accent in Forrest Gump, which is... Here's a bit of trivia before we wrap up this episode. Tom Hanks was introduced to the little kid who was going to play him as a child in Forrest Gump. And the little kid had a thick Alabama accent. And he was about 6-7 years old. And he just had a very, very thick Southern accent from that region. And Tom Hanks said, hey, instead of us getting this kid to learn my accent that I'm bringing to the role, how about I just learn his accent? So that very distinct accent that Tom Hanks has in Forrest Gump was a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old kid's accent that he acquired by hanging out with the kid for about 2 or 3 days and just learned his speech habits and brought that to the role. And that's why it's so consistent with that little kid. And and it's buyable, it's believable that Tom Hanks is the adult version of this kid because of that. I love that. Gotta love the soundtracks to the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They're really kind of cheesy songs, but kind of fun at the same time. Yeah, it's a really fun... Forrest Gump, I love that movie. It's got a special place in my heart. And but my mom hates that movie. She'll just go off about how he had it too easy. Just everything fell into his lap in his life. He didn't have a hard life. He should have had a hard life, having special challenges. And I'm like, but that's the point. The point is he has let go of any of these thoughts that the way life should be, and was able to manage and was able to be in the right place at the right time all the time because he had an open and big heart. And I hope you guys have a open mind and a big heart and are... you could do a show on accents. Oh, that's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll talk about movie accents and how there are some really good ones. Like every time Meryl Streep does one, she is a spot on perfect. She's bang on, as they say in UK. Also, Gary Oldman is one of my favorite actors because every single role, and you could probably, I could do a whole show on this. He will always acquire a new accent for every character that he does. It's very subtle, but he will do it. If he plays an American, he won't just do an American accent. He'll do like a Southwestern American accent, or he'll do outside of Chicago in this part of the city specific accent. Gary Oldman, listen to the way he talks in every single movie that he's in. He really leans into very specific accents. And Meryl Streep is also she's impeccable at that. Yeah, Gary Oldman, he will never do the same accent twice. So in summation, guilty pleasures. Like what you like, love what you love. I don't judge you, and you should feel free to enjoy things unabashedly. So you guys be safe out there, wash your hands, make sure that you are in contact with your loved ones and friends, but not physically. Stay away, stay isolated, stay clean, stay safe. I'm Aristotle, full throttle. You bro in the know with the fro, and I'll see you later.